So I wanted to welcome you back to Oklahoma. Can you speak a little bit about what you did on Reservation Dogs maybe was able to be translated into what you did on this series?
I think working on Reservation Dogs was certainly informative as far as being refamiliarized with Oklahoma. I'd grown up here. I grew up in New Mexico, and we'd come to Oklahoma semi-frequently growing up, and so I had family out here, and we'd spend time in Oklahoma City and around the area. But it wasn't until Reservation Dogs when I came back and had to sort of relearn the terrain, the particularities of the area. And it was so helpful in just adding that extra layer of authenticity to the show.
Okay. What do you think is the state of Indigenous storytelling in media, with streaming, with film, with those types of things?
It feels like it's definitely a native storytelling. It's definitely entering a new phase. From where I'm concerned, I think myself and a lot of people that we all kind of came up together. We all made indie films, growing up, and we had to scrape and claw and just struggle to just get a story made, and to be here with a show like Echo, that is a Marvel Studios production, is extremely surreal. And 5 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it. 3 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it. But I think you have, with shows like Rutherford Falls and Reservation Dogs, and just these native-led productions, I'm super optimistic that more is to come.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about working with the Choctaw Nation and how you worked with them, how important that was to get that specificity?
Yeah, working with the Choctaw Nation wasn't it wasn't a maybe, it was a must. I think once we learned that we were portraying the character was Choctaw, the first thing that we wanted to do was engage them. As someone, I'm Navajo, I'm not Choctaw, so it was extremely important to me that we get the input and collaboration and dialogue created with the people with this lived experience. And so that was one of the first things that we did was engage the Choctaw. And we were actually here almost 2 years to the day to meet with them and talk through kind of what we were talking about and what we wanted to do with the show, and more specifically to create a dialogue. That was the biggest thing for us. And I think one of the things that I remember talking about when I first got here was saying, we're not here to tell you what we're going to do. We're here to create a dialogue specifically because we want your input. We want you to tell us, hey, this is off limits. This is, if you look at it from this perspective, you might need to correct yourself. So a lot of that was very. It's incredibly important to be here, right here, right now, with this first screening.
Very good. Anything else you wanted to add before I turn you loose to the next one?
No. Echo, January 10th.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. tell me a little bit about the collaborative effort that came about with Marvel working on this particular show.
Well, I can remember it's been this same time, probably 4 or 5 years ago, I can't even remember. And we were talking about this concept of telling about how can we share the story of the Choctaw people and their adversity and trials and tribulations and triumphs. And this is what became of that discussion. And so it's great to see it come to fruition. It's great to have Marvel and Disney working side by side with a tribe of the state of Oklahoma. So it's just an honor to have them working with us.
So, do you feel like it makes a difference having a showrunner who's indigenous on this particular series, not Choctaw but Navajo? I mean, do you feel like that makes a difference in terms of the storytelling?
Very much so. I think most people struggle with, I hear it on what other show sets where they'll say, well, they're really not Native American, they're portraying, and why are they having them? Like I said, Syndey, Freeland, Marvel, and Disney, they wanted to make sure everything was accurate for this movie. So to have a Native American representing us, we're just proud to be known as Native Americans and to be a part of the film industry. And then to highlight our history in this is just amazing.
So what are your thoughts on having something that is a modern day, something set in contemporary times that's portraying someone who's Choctaw? We see a lot of media that's period pieces, but how important do you think it is for people to get an opportunity to see a Choctaw character who's a contemporary character?
I think it's very important because I think there's so many stereotypes about we as Native Americans and what are we. Used to we were called Indians. Now we've grown to Native Americans, And so for me, it's to truly portray who we are, what we represent, and who we are as people. We're no different, like I said, than anybody else. Like I said, we've had trials and tribulations, but we're still here today. And again, we've lost a third of our people, but our language is still alive, our culture and history. No different than the Irish people, no different than any other race of of Americans. It's just we're able to highlight our story.
So what do you hope people learn about the Choctaw Nation whenever they watch a show like this?
That we're resilient, that we're strong, that we're fighters, but yet we're compassionate, we're caring. We do things for the right reason. We're about collaboration, faith, family, and culture. That's who we are as people. That's what I hope this show represents.
And what are your thoughts on it coming here to get a chance to show it here in the Choctaw Nation first?
Oh, I think it's the most wonderful thing ever. It's probably a highlight of my career, just to be able to show our Choctaw people that there is people interested in us, that we're not forgotten, that again, that our history, our legacy is important to people other than just us, and that's what it represents for us tonight.
Well, there's anything I didn't ask that you wanted to say about the show?